watching Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Dufferin Life. Thank you so much for staying with us. And if you're just tuning in, well, you're tuning in at a great time. All right, so here we are. We're, mid-October, closer to the end of October. And it's my favorite time of year. You guys know that I love Halloween. Joining me today, we have Michelle Hartley. She is from the Orangeville Halloween Haunt Patrol.
Yes, yeah.
Michelle, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
It is truly my pleasure. We're going to talk Halloween. So we're going to start from not from telling about how it came about, but let's talk about what the Halloween Haunt Patrol is.
So the Orangeville Halloween Haunt Patrol is an event that showcases homes that do amazing front yard and home displays. Some of the displays are haunted and quite scary, and some are very children friendly.
Okay.
Last year, I checked just before I came here, as of October 20th of last year, there was 199 yard displays.
Wow.
At the 20th of October. So Orangeville is passionate about their Halloween.
It certainly are. I mean, when my kids were little, I used to go more all out and kind of, it was the lawn and, the draping around the house and all that sort of thing. But my son's father-in-law's house, I'm wondering if maybe he was on it last year, but we're going to find out, because I'm going to give Michelle the tip about where they are, because they are extreme. And I actually seen a couple weeks ago, he said his first piece was built. So I'm just like,
I need to know that story.
Yeah.
I do.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about how this all came about for you.
So in a nutshell, I'm a mom of 5, and when COVID happened in 2020, they had to cancel Halloween. You couldn't go up to the front door. And so I did what I had done with my older children for my 8-year-old at that time, and we would drive around and look at homes.
Okay.
And what I noticed was more homes, I think because of COVID, were decorating.
Right.
So I created a list. And Zach went to school, told his friends, and parents were asking about it. And so I'd pass that on through emails and neighbors. And the list would get longer, and the calls asking about it increased. And so I put it on Orangeville's Facebook Q&A.
Right.
And it started to get really popular. I became known as the lady with the list. And just a few days before Halloween, I put this Facebook page together asking for everybody that was interested for a name.
Right.
And so jointly, Orangeville Halloween Haunt Patrol came up, and we started showcasing the list of houses and photos. And it was a drive-by. You couldn't get out. I do have one story if I could share.
Of course.
Okay. I had done that. I had done the display at my house, and during COVID, and I had dressed up with my very famous dinosaur, and my brother was there, an adult. And I remember, although I couldn't see them, there was 2 cars, and because of COVID, the car in the front had mom and dad and the children, and the car behind had grandpa and grandma who couldn't get together.
Oh, okay.
And I could hear with the windows down, the kids, Grandma, do you see, that?
Aww.
And the grandma saying, oh my God, this is so cool. So it was a really awesome, quick event that families just loved. So I will always be grateful for that experience.
Yeah, and you continued.
I did continue. I continued because I was asked to continue. I didn't foresee that.
Right.
And then when I was asked on the Facebook page, is this going to happen again? The year 2021, I did it again, and I implemented contests.
Okay.
And right here is the first prize.
Let me just grab him.
So whoever wins the most spookiest or the most funnest, most well-decorated house wins the coveted Halloween skull, which, I mean, he's not an expensive guy, but he is well wanted.
Yes.
And the last winners over the years, they show them in their haunts. So
right.
This is what everybody wants.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. So how does the contest work?
So the contest this year, for example, the very busiest weekend to remember will be October 24th, October 25th. So out of that list of probably 250 houses, I will choose the top 10. I get to choose them.
Right.
It's my baby. But the following evening after they're selected, the community is the one that judges, and it's very easy. It's open to anybody. In the past, I've had Mayor Post and I've had Councillor Debbie Sherwood. This year we're having the BIA, the food bank, and as many families as want to be a judge just have to reach out. There's no limit.
Okay.
What they do, and it's easy, they would show up at my house, my porch, and they pick up a clipboard and they will wear a necklace to show those homeowners they're a judge.
Right.
And on here will be their 10 score sheets, and each house is judged on 10 different areas, animatronics, homemade creations, fog machines, music, all of that. And then they come back and they drop it off, and I will tally it up, and I will announce by midnight of this year, October 25th, the winner.
Okay.
And so, yeah, and anybody's welcome to judge. There's no limit who the judges can be, except that they have to live in Orangeville.
Okay. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So here you have it. I mean, we're not that far away from the date, so if you haven't already gone out and decorated, you need to get it done. You know, you need to get out there and put your best foot forward, make something, whatever. It doesn't have to be ostentatious. It doesn't have to be expensive. Work with what you have. I mean, there's a lot of scary things around everybody's homes that you don't realize how you can actually kind of turn that into something that's scary, right?
A lot of the stuff that I've been using is off of Marketplace or free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it depends on what you want to do, but I mean, not that I'm promoting the use of chainsaws or whatnot, but you know, safely, you could make a display based on what you have in your garage if you want to. Throw your children out in the front lawn, dress them up, make them stand there, whatever it happens to be. I think it's absolutely amazing. And I haven't in the past had a chance to drive around, but it is my goal to do that this year. Maybe I'll even judge. It really just kind of depends on timing and schedule. But yeah, like, I mean, come on, community, let's do it. Like, I mean, I think it's absolutely phenomenal that you have like 200 houses that you choose these top 10 because it must be a hard decision.
It is a hard decision, and sometimes politics has gotten involved a little bit, but you know, people that are in the top 10 they're not just the same year after year. Right. They do add and they do increase. And there are people that are not on the top 10 that think they should be, but then we had somebody move to Orangeville and there's a new competitor. So, and I do want to say that on that judging year last year, Orangeville had 2,000 people attending these homes. Wow. So this year we're going to put a food bank box bins at all these top 10 homes, so that even if a family visitor brings one can to one of those 10 homes, we're going to pay it forward this year.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely amazing. Yeah. I mean, anyone who watches the show knows I'm a huge supporter of the Orangeville Food Bank. So yeah, absolutely. Grab your cans and boxes and whatnots and bring them out and trick or treat at the houses, but this time give towards the food bank and then just enjoy the atmosphere at every house. Yeah. I mean, I love it. I really do. I'm such a huge person. Like October 1st, I start watching all of my scary movies because they all come on TV. Yeah. And then I go right to the end. I love horror movies. I love it all. And my kids are the same. They've grown up loving Halloween.
They're passionate about it.
Yeah, for sure. I always say it's my favorite holiday, even though we don't get it off work.
Yeah, that's right. Well, this year Halloween is
a Friday.
Yeah, Friday. Yeah. So and what's good about this too is that there's so many people that put so much work into their yard that they get more exposure from the public enjoying it. I've had people say that they just close their blinds, but they keep it open and they just watch all the people coming up. So, you know, it's not cheap, so you get more value for your money when you have visitors and just the enjoyment it brings.
And I mean, it happens a little bit before Halloween, so you've got that, oh my gosh, you're starting kind of like that week before is like, you're super uber pumped, and then you've got all the kids coming out, and it's just amazing.
And you know what? The list has started. There's 4 or 5 houses already started, so and many in progress.
Yeah,
so
there's many in progress for sure. Okay, so we're gonna take a shift here slightly to my next favorite holiday that doesn't involve skulls. I mean, it could, but we're gonna talk a little bit about Christmas and what happens at Christmas.
What happens at Christmas? So after 2020 and doing this. On the next day, November 1st, 2020, the Halloween page had people asking if I was going to do the same thing for Christmas. So I did, and I do enjoy it. I truly do. So I made Orangeville Christmas Night Lights Patrol. Facebook page, which we also have 2,000 followers, 2,000 plus. And I did go out at night. Now that is a very sentimental time. I remember doing that with my parents. I grew up in a small town in Streetsville, and we would put our pajamas on and get a hot chocolate. So that was pretty cool. I made the list. Only thinking it would be for COVID year, and I did it again in 2021, implementing now contests, but the contests are, people don't go to them. It's kind of online. I'll show them some pictures. But what I do is I make videos, and I make videos to CHFI, because it's all Christmas. So I'll roll my window down and I will just record to the Christmas music and get up, and sometimes it's cool, you can hear the crunching of the snow. There are some incredible streets.
Yes.
Some double over, they're Christmas and Halloween passionate, and then there's these Christmas passionates. Oh my God. I can tell you there's a court in town that every house is phenomenal. I love it. I go down that street many times.
Yes, yeah, and I'm pretty sure I know which one that is. I'll be honest, like we, before COVID, my dad loved Christmas lights. Now, we nicknamed my dad one of the Griswolds because he had all these different lights on his house, all different types of lights. They were just everywhere. You would walk in and the front porch would have the hanging, you know, the one that they were used to string, like the Christmas garland that would be like all silver and gold. Like you would walk in there and you'd be like, holy Hannah, you don't even know where to look, but it was beautiful. So he was one of those people that we would hop in the car, and we didn't know where we were going. We would literally just drive around town looking for houses.
Yeah, there's some people that didn't do what you and I did, and this is a new tradition for them. The thing that's cool about it is that people know where to go if they only have a half an hour or something. You know, it's a bit of a different time. Mom and dad are coming home late from work and stuff. So some of the houses in both situations are rated, you know, extreme in that, so they get a little bit more traffic. But it's just put the Christmas music on, pajamas, hot chocolate, family. There's nothing bad about these two experiences.
No, absolutely not. And I will say that we did actually, I found out about it, I think it was probably, it would have been 21. And anyways, it was 20 or 21. But I had found out about it kind of late. So I literally pinpointed a few places from your list, and then we hopped in the car and we did it again. So it wasn't just driving around randomly. But yeah, I mean, there's just so much fun to be had doing this. Please, you know, mark your calendars. Make sure you're going out to do this. Michelle, it's been great having you on the show. I appreciate it. And I love what you do, and I hope you keep doing it.
And I hope you become a judge for us. And either, well, not the Christmas one, but definitely the Halloween one. And thank you to the community. Everybody's been awesome. Everybody's been supportive. Very proud to be in Orangeville.
Amazing. It is an amazing community. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, bye for now. So we're still.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Great to be here. It feels like coming home.
I'm ready, baby.
Oh my God.
Not that song. Oh my God, Cynthia.
Tamara, it's time to leak some info.
Did you date Nick Cage?
Yes, I did. You weren't expecting that, were you?
Who to you is the most toxic man on the valley? It's a big.
Why don't you just say who isn't?
It's unbelievable.
Thank you. Watch What Happens Live Sunday through Thursday live on Bravo, or stream it on City TV Plus.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Dufferin Life. Thanks so much for staying with us. If you're just tuning in, as always, you're tuning in at a great time. Joining me today, we have Wendy Cook. She works with HABI, which is the Headwaters Acquired Brain Injury Group. It's a group, yes. Thank you so much for joining me, Wendy.
My pleasure. Thank you for having us.
It was truly my pleasure. So what I want to do and where I want to start is I just want you to promote awareness. Let's just talk about what the group is. I mean, it sounds I am tongue-tied today, apparently, but it sounds like it's, you would know what it is, but let's talk a little bit about it. Right. I'm going to stop talking because apparently I'm talking over myself, so you go ahead.
It's a community support group run by volunteers, strictly. We're a nonprofit. We don't fundraise. Our focus is just on community education about brain injury awareness. Also, within our community support group, we do brain injury education, and we just support each other on the journey.
Okay.
Yeah, and our big effort right now is to make sure that the public knows that we exist. We're 16 years celebrating, and we probably had a couple years before that, even. Just to make sure that when people come home from trauma hospitals like Sunnybrook or St. Mike's, London Hospital, that they know that there's support to come home to.
Right.
Often the families and caregivers don't get a lot of education about brain injury while they're there, but now they have to care for this person with a brain injury, and it can be very overwhelming when you don't have the education you need. And we like to be there for the support and to also tell you about what other services are available in our community or around Dufferin County that support people with brain injury. And we're free. The whole organization, our group, is run by people who our lives have been touched by brain injury. So we recognize and we appreciate that support for all of us and what a difference that makes in your life.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I've talked to it in a different scenario, but I've talked to people about, when my mom and dad passed, you talk to people and not everybody, everybody, of course, says how sorry they are and asks you how you're doing and all of those things. But speaking to somebody that's been through the same situation, there's a different level of comfort and its support. And it's not that those other people don't care, because they genuinely do. But it's just about talking to somebody who has been through it.
Absolutely.
That kind of understands where you're sitting. So it's the same sort of idea.
Very much. We put a big emphasis on connection, making connections in the group. And we're also social minded as well. We do go out into the in the community and have dinner night out, maybe in January. A few different social events, so people stay connected with our community as well. Because some people feel isolated after their brain injury, because the bigger world doesn't understand how it can be very confusing for the person surviving a brain injury, as well as the community. What we know is that the community at large doesn't really understand brain injury and the long-term consequences thereof until it happens to you or someone close to you. And more often not, the person who's walking and talking who has a severe brain injury, it's hard to understand that, but that inside the brain, it's all confusing.
And it doesn't work. It's not operating the same way.
It's not operating the way it used to. And it can take up to 2 years for the swelling in the brain to come down. Longer than your wrist after a sprain here, it can take up to about 2 years. And that's a long time when you're living with it on a day-to-day basis. But within our group, generally speaking, you don't have to say too much, and we all understand
Right.
what you're going through and where you've been in the hospital context.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other aspect to it is whether there's a caregiver or a family member that's living with that person, they need support as well.
Absolutely. Our group, we welcome the caregiver, the siblings of the survivor, the children of the survivor, if you're dating a partner with brain injury, because we know that it's very much like the stone you throw into the water. There's a huge ripple effect.
Right.
And usually the people living closest to you are the first ones affected, and they need support also.
They do,
and they
yeah.
need that education piece. And we will be doing, it's called the Brain Basics course, again this year or in January. And it's we do it in conjunction with OBIA, the Ontario Brain Injury Association. It's a well-done course. This will be our 4th time doing it. And it's education for the survivor, as well as caregivers and close friends, because there's a lot to learn. And sometimes that isolation comes when you think, oh God, I'm kind of quirky, things just don't work the same and I'm embarrassed about it. But when you take the course, and it's a 2-day course, you understand that many of those symptoms that you might be having are actually classic brain injury symptoms.
Yeah, no,
and you don't feel as alone, and you understand what's going on in here a lot better.
Yeah, and I think that's
empowering.
Very, yeah, absolutely it is. I know I had a friend that had a brain injury, but they didn't diagnose it as a brain injury at first, and then, you know, but after specialist, and then finally she got to the right one, and then she was like, the specialist just told me I have a brain injury, and I've had it, for 8 months or whatever happened.
Right.
She's like, now I understand why I'm not remembering the way I used to, how I like certain functions. Like, she had seen changes, but she had had a fall, and there's so many other things that happened that it was like a light went on, and she said, now I understand.
And here's
why
a
it's
statistic. It's kind of scary, but the reason I want you to have education sooner than later about your particular brain injury, because there is no 2 brain injuries alike.
Right.
And sometimes it can be affected by your age as well.
Okay.
They say the best time to have a brain injury is actually in your 40s.
Okay.
Where you've your body memory, just everything has solidified in that brain. All the information you're going to need about life's basic tasks are in there.
Okay.
So brain injury rehab comes after, where you're trying to, we put you in situations where maybe even the sensory around you helps you to remember, oh, this is what I do. I water the plants once a week.
Right. Okay.
That smell in my mom's kitchen, oh, it must be spaghetti night. Ah, now I remember.
Okay.
So that's to help the brain unload and discover and make those pathways again and those connections again to what they actually did remember. There's no guarantee after you've had a brain injury that you're going to be the same person.
Right.
But you can learn to manage your symptoms. There's lots of research done. There's lots of help by other survivors that talk about ways, or different people, specialists who have helped them discover ways to manage their symptoms. And sometimes those symptoms over your lifetime will slow down. Sometimes they will dissipate.
Okay.
But it does take time. And I found for my family, for my son who had a brain injury, a significant brain injury, one of all the paid support people we had over the years, speech language pathology, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, Botox injections in his legs, you name it, we did it. We tried everything. We had nothing to lose.
Right.
But I will tell you that the number one thing that I'm reminded of that helped us to survive those years was the support. That you're not alone, and that this, extraordinary life living with a brain injury, you need a lot of support, because it's the long haul. It's a journey. It's not a sprint. It really is a journey. And and you need that you need the support of people who understand.
Absolutely, and I think no matter what happens in life, you always look for support depending on what's happened, and I can understand what you're saying and relate to the fact that I can it makes perfect sense. You need that support. I mean, it doesn't matter if you've got a personal support worker that's working with you, a family member, whatever. It doesn't matter the injury.
Yes.
You need someone that will support.
And we're
the
free.
Whole of it. Yeah.
We're free, and we're volunteers. All of us, all of our lives have been touched by brain injury in different capacities. Right. Someone might be representing someone who's had a brain aneurysm. One of our other members has had a brain tumor removed, and praise the Lord, it was successfully. She's cancer-free 10 years later, but she had all the classic symptoms of brain injury. Yeah. So there's many different ways. The fall, lots of car accidents. Yeah. There's many ways to have a brain injury. It's pretty scary.
It absolutely is. And I want to talk about if you haven't noticed already, the back of my couch looks a little bit different, and I want to make sure we're touching on what's going on here, and the good news about this particular flag that's here. So we've got a couple minutes, so I wanted to make sure that you have a chance to tell us all about what's adorning our couch today.
Oh, thank you. This was a legacy project on behalf of my son, Keaton Cook, who passed away last year in August on the 15th. 29 years post-injury from his significant brain injury from a car accident, but it was definitely related to that initial injury, and it was very unexpected, but he did pass. And he has a new address. He's living with the Lord. But we, as a family, decided that we had tremendous help and support from the Ontario Brain Injury Association over the years. And we also understood the incredible need for support when you come home from hospital, because initially Keaton was in hospital for almost 10 months, and I lived with him in 3 different hospital settings over 10 months before we came home again after that initial injury. What this flag, there was 43 people across Southern Ontario who came up with designs for the flag. We offered OBIA a challenge, Ontario Brain Injury Challenge. We gave them the money, but we said, this money is to be spent specifically on coming up with a flag that will be shown every June 1st in every Southern Ontario community that represents support for people with brain injury in their community. Also, it's going to go across Canada. That's the plan as well, so that when you come home from a trauma hospital that there is support in your community. And it'll be shown June 1st. Okay, amazing. And you're up, I know, and I wish we could talk longer, and we're going to bring you back. I know that there's an award involved that maybe you, and we're going to talk about that. But I want to thank you, Wendy, so much for coming on the show and sharing everything with us. And thank you for joining us. Until next time, bye-bye for now. So we're still on.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
For 25 years, you've been helping to make our roads safer by doing the right thing. You've been the designated driver, you've stayed over, called home, you've called a cab or a friend, and planned ahead. Let's keep doing the right thing. Support sober driving by getting yourself and your friends home safely.